White House.
Our next guest has fought for reform since 2008 when his son was shot and killed by an illegal. Jamil Shaw was at the president's meeting yesterday, and he joins us live from our nation's capital. Jamil, thank you for coming back to Fox and Friends. For folks who don't know your story, will you tell us about your son and what happened to him?
On March the 2nd, 2008, we went to a football clinic in Pasadena. On the way home, he asked me, could he go to the mall? And of course, I didn't want to do it, but I let him go, mainly because the day before he asked me to go to a party. And I said, no, you can't go to no parties around here. I said, you know why, right? He said, I know, I might get shot. You know, the next day he was dead, you know, and it just drives me crazy because 10 years later, and you know, we did all the things right, and for him to end up with a casket, and then you know, it's just so, it just sucks.
Who was the person who killed your son?
Illegal alien, 18th Street gang member that was a so-called dreamer. He was brought into the country. He was 3 years old, and then they raised him up like a rapid pit bull. Let him do whatever he wanted to. He committed crime after crime, put schools on lockdown. I mean, he was just like Satan's disciple, and they just let him run rampant, and nobody deported him. The day before he killed my son, he was in the L.A. County Jail on assault with a deadly weapon, battery on a peace officer, resisting arrest, and they still let him out in 4 months. Gave him 4 months early time. They just let him out on the Saturday night, and Sunday, on the same night, he went out and saw my son walking down the street and shot him to death, just for the hell of it.
So now we understand, Jamil, there's going to be action. You told your story. The president heard about it when he was just trying to get the nomination. He kept with you, and then yesterday you're sitting by his side. Wow. And what was that like as he made this crackdown on illegals official?
I mean, you know, that was awesome. You know, I'm just a guy, a little bitty guy from L.A., you know, little speck, so to speak. And to be, you know, for the President of the United States to pay attention to you, you know, that's major. I mean, that's a major deal, you know, just to sit there on his right side, and, you know, they put me there. And it was awesome, you know, to see that he really cares. He's a true man, you know, and I really wish people would give him a chance to do what he got to do, and they will see that. He's an awesome guy.
Wow, and he wanted to do that to honor your son. We're so sorry when we hear your story as parents. We just could not imagine. What is the message for people that support these sanctuary cities and support these illegal immigrants to be here in our country, these criminal illegal immigrants? What's your message to them?
Why would you be against that? You know, the life you're saving could be your own, your family members. I mean, that happened to me. I had no idea when I woke up Sunday morning that would be my son's last day, and to go through that process, and then the day ends with him dead. You know, it just seems so. I mean, it's bizarre. You can't even. I mean, you can't even talk about it. You know, yeah. and the people to embrace this as, you know, they're doing the right thing because we want to be safe. You know, they have all the examples of dead people, from babies to grandparents, everybody in between. Right. You know, if you're against that, then it's your fault. It's your fault, just like it is now.
And Jamil, now we're not. It's not a conversation. Now it's legislation, and it's going to be put before the House, expected to pass the House, but it's supposed to have a tougher time in the Senate. From what you read, from what you understand, what's your message to the Senate?
Do your job, you know, protect the people. You know, we're here, we need protection. We're running around out here like lambs in the Serengeti. You know what I mean? Lions and all, everybody's trying to take advantage of us. All we have is you guys to help us. You know, we need you to let law enforcement do their job so we can walk the streets. My son thought he could walk down the street without being murdered. You know what I mean? Can you imagine what he thought when he had a gun in his face on his own street?
No.
He's probably like, man, I'm getting ready to die. You know, shot in the stomach, and then the guy goes over to his head, and the coroner said he was laying on his back with his hands up in the air, you know, shot him through his hand into his head.
Oh my gosh.
It's just so, I mean, and I was home, I heard the gunshots, and to come outside and see him laying there, all his blood and brains in the street, I still can't understand. 10 years later, I still don't even believe it happened.
Yeah, and you've told us this story before, and every time you say it, we can't believe it happened, and it's sad, but at least people you have a president taking action now. Yeah. Hopefully legislators will get behind it.
Mr. Shaw, how do you live on like that? I mean, I can't imagine if something happened to my daughter. What gets you through each day?
I don't, you know, be truthful, you just wake up and go to sleep, and in between, you're not dead. I mean, I don't know what else to say, you know. You wake up thinking about it, you go to bed. I mean, your whole life is just living the past, and you just can't move on. You know, the whole family is devastated, friends, and it's just, and then to see the politicians act like it's just part of, you know, the circle of life to be shot dead in the street. That's just unacceptable.
Well, if these bills are enacted, it certainly would be part of your son's legacy.
Awesome.
Yeah. Jamil, thank you very much for joining us and telling your story.
Thank you, guys. Keep up the good work. You're doing really good for the country.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That means a lot. All right. 20 minutes now before the top there. So powerful.
It is. The president did say he promised all of those parents your child did not die in vain.
Exactly.
I promised to get something done. Right.